original video game, the reason I asked is because it really had no storyline. There was no narrative whatsoever. So when I heard this movie was being made, my whole thing was like, well, what is the story going to be? And I was so pleasantly surprised when I saw the movie, and I thought it had a great story. Was that your reaction when you read the script?
Yeah, because you don't want, you're quite, I suppose you're a little anxious that people are just using the title of something that's already successful in the hope to make something else that's successful. And actually, the truth about video games now is that they're movies in themselves, and that people interact with them and can direct them and the storyline themselves. So a film has to do twice as much, and it has to have the storyline and has to have car chases that are not only very exciting but that are actually real. And it was a combination of Scotty, our director, saying, I want to take this back to how racing used to be filmed, how it was shot, and how it and make you feel like you're really watching people going at those speeds in those cars, which I'm blown away by. I've always loved cars, but to see those cars going at those speeds, racing each other like that, is exhilarating.
Well, the practical effects were amazing, and I think the fact that Scott does have a stuntman background, his dad was a famous stuntman, and that he didn't pull any of the punches with any of the car stuff, and really tried to do a throwback to Bullet and Smokey and the Bandit, those classic movies. Was that sort of a relief, knowing that this is the guy that's trying to orchestrate this all together? It
was a huge relief, because you can say what you like in those meetings beforehand, and you can know that, yes, of course, that's what you want to achieve. But the fact that he said, none of this is green screen, none of the explosions will be green screen, this is all going to happen for real. And then understanding who his father was and the world he grew up in and the films that he liked to watch, it was just absolute reassurance. And watching Scott on set, commanding his stunt guys and the unit was magical, because he knew what it was like to be on that side, and he knew how important it was that everyone felt that their role was as important as each other's, which it was. And he had a talk and a discussion every morning before shooting, so that everyone knew what needed to be achieved and everyone felt important, which they are, and they respected him and they did their utmost to achieve those stunts.
Do you enjoy playing that role? Is it more fun to be the bad guy sometimes than to be the hero in the movie?
I suppose there's more to play with in terms of what you're revealing to others and what you're truly feeling and actually what you're capable of. I mean, he's pretty dreadful, this particular bad guy. There's no redeeming qualities about him.
Is it hard to find the humanity in that?
Yeah, but you have to try somehow. You have to just go through a process, at least with the director, to find out who he thinks this person is and who you believe this person to be, and at least identify as a human being what made that person like that, or where it stems from, and then at least you can say, well, although I don't agree with anything he's doing, and I think all his choices he makes are wrong, and I don't feel any sympathy or empathy toward him, he has done that because of something that's happened earlier on. And then you can just at least have a motivation for it.
So it's all backstory.
Yes, exactly. That doesn't necessarily exist within the storyline, but you must know that yourself. You can't just play evil. Kind of play bad. It has to, and that should make it more layered. I met Aaron before we had worked on this. We knew one another, and again, you are dealing with a great storyline, but it is essentially a car racing film. At the centre of this, really, yes, the storyline is wonderful, but these gleaming, fantastic cars and these races are the sort of centrepiece. So we have to find a way to navigate through that and at least really put some, I suppose, gravity into the actual, and weight into the relationships. And I think that's always essential, with just to make it, I don't know, to keep it buoyant and real. I suppose it's a revenge tale. There's a love story and a revenge tale in it, which we all love for some reason. And I always wonder whether that's because we don't ever really, or we shouldn't certainly, and we know that revenge actually achieves nothing, which is what he realises himself toward the end. but there is that desperate need to get retaliation on someone who's done something so monstrous to you. But yeah, you have to have that. Otherwise, you can't just sit there and watch race after race after race.